This is lesson 5.3, finding what percent one number is of another. So we'll get started. Okay, so finding what percent one number is of another. So our standards today are I can find what percent one number is of another, and I can apply percent to real life situations. Our standards are EE2 and RP3. Understand that rewriting an expression in different forms in a problem context can shed light on the problem and how the quantities in it are related. And use proportional relationships to solve multi-step ratio and percent problems. I'm going to minimize myself and we shall begin. Finding your grade percentage. Sometimes you are given a part and a whole, and you need to find what percent the part is of the whole. You want to know what your grade is, right? So this is often how teachers will give students a grading percent. That's how you get a 4, 3, 2, or 1 on your report card. So if you answered 12 questions correctly on a test, with 20 total questions on the test, what percent right did you get? You want to know what your percentage is. So how do you do this? Well, step 1, write a fraction making the part the numerator and the whole the denominator. So we have our little fraction there. 12 is the part and 20 is the whole. So 12 is the number of questions and 20 is 12 is the number of correct questions and 20 is the number of total questions. So you always put the part on top and you put the whole on the bottom. Okay, number of total questions. Now what do you do? If you answered 12 questions correctly out of 20, let's do step 2, divide the numerator by the denominator. 12 divided by 20, because isn't a fraction really a division problem? Exactly. So we could do, let me just draw this for you guys. We could do 12 divided by 20, and we did a little bit of that in the first couple of months of the second couple of months of the trimester, I think. So we could do this by hand and put a decimal point and a 0 and a decimal point here and say how many 20s go into 120? Well, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, so 6, right? And then we could go 20 times 6 is 120, and then we go 120 minus 120, and that's going to be 0. So 12 divided by 20 is 0.6. Let's do it on our calculator now. So we would type 12 on our calculator, divided by 20, hit the equals button, and the answer would show up as 0.6 or 0.60. Depending on your calculator, it should probably show 0.6. So now we know that 0.6 is the percent, but it's not in a percent format yet, is it? We remember how to change a decimal over to a percent, don't we? Right? How do we do it? We move the decimal 2 places to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, right. Anyways, 12 over 20 equals 0.6. Let's move that decimal 1 spot and 2 spots, and the new decimal goes there, and the old decimal disappears, and then we put the percent sign there, and we hide the decimal because we don't need to put a decimal after a number, right? So 60% was your grade. 12 is 60% of 20. You got a score of 60%. That's probably a 2 on your report card, getting very close to a 1. You scored 60% on your test. Okay, give one of these type of problems a try. Pause the video, do the questions, come back, and then we'll continue. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you did those questions. If not, it's probably been a split second for you. Let's continue. Finding the percent. 8 is what percent of 16? 8 is what percent of 16? What's the part? What's the whole? 8 is the part. 16 is the whole. We're looking for the percent. So what do? We divide the numerator, that's the top number, by the denominator, that's the bottom number. So 8 divided by 16. And again, if you like to do it this way and you need some practice, I would strongly suggest doing 8 divided by 16 and then solving it by hand for a few problems anyways. So you have to say how many 16s go into 80, etc. But if you want to use the easy way out, take the calculator and do 8 divided by 16 equals, and your display will be 0.5 or 0.50. So we now know that we can change 0.50 now into a percent, because that's what we're looking for. So 0.50 as a percent, move it 2 decimal spots to the right, put the decimal there now, and then cover it up with percent sign. 50%. So 8 is 50% of 16. And that makes sense because 50% is half. So half of 16 is 8. So you can think about it logically. Oops, there's a percent sign there all by little lonesome. Okay, finding the percent. 15 is what percent of 60? Write a fraction making the part the numerator and the whole the denominator. 15 over 60. Divide the numerator by the denominator. Take your calculator. 15 divided by 60 equals 0.25. Okay, so 0.25. There's my decimal point. Move it 2 to the right. And the decimal will go to the right there. You can't see it because the percent sign's there. And that's what you want anyways, the percent sign. 15 is 25% of 60. Try another one. 15 is what percent of 60? I think we just did this. Yes, but maybe I want to do something else with it. Okay, what fractional amount is 15 compared to 60? What fractional amount is 15 compared to 60? Well, can't you reduce 15 and 60? Let's do it. 15 and 60. What can I divide into 15 and 60? Did you say 5? Okay, you could also say something bigger, but I wanted to show you that you can think about it and you can just use 5 and then you can do it again. So let's see. 15 divided by 5 equals 3 and 60 divided by 5 equals 12. And then you can reduce 3/12, right? Divide the top and bottom by 3. And then you get 3 divided by 3 is 1 and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 15/60 is the same as 1/4. Okay? By reducing 15/60 to lowest terms, you can get 1/4. So if you like to reduce, you can reduce this to 1/4. And do you think if I divided 1 on the calculator divided by 4, I would get the same thing of 0.25? Well, let's try it. Let's do it like this. 1 divided by 4. 4 can't go into 1, but it can go into 10 twice, right? 2 times 4 is 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. Put another 0 and bring down the 0. 4 into 20 goes 5 times. And don't forget I have a decimal here. So yes, it'll be 0.25. So it's the exact same thing. I just wanted to prove it to you. So if you feel like reducing your fraction, if it's big numbers, you can do that. And then you can use smaller numbers when you're dividing. Just wanted to point that out. 25% is equal to 1/4 of something. That's good to keep in mind and good to remember. Okay, there are my percent signs showing up again. 56 is what percent of 64? They're all the same. What's the part? What's the whole? Write the fraction. What goes on top? 56. What goes on the bottom? 64. Take our calculator out. Divide 56 divided by 64 equals, and the deciding factor is 0.875. Change 0.875 to a percent by moving the decimal 2 places to the right. So there's your decimal, 2 places right, 1, 2, there's your decimal, 87.5%. So 56 is 87.5% of 64. Okay, I want to show you something else. Let's put it back here now. So 87.5%. So can we think about this one? What fractional amount is 56 compared to 64? Well, let's reduce this 56 over 64. What can we divide by? What do you think? Got a suggestion? Did you say 8? Good for you. 56 divided by 8 and 64 divided by 8 equals 7/8. Okay, so by reducing 56 over 64 to lowest terms, you will get 7/8. 87.5% is equal to 7/8 of a number. Okay, give some of these a try. I'll see you back in a moment. Okay, welcome back. Let's apply some percent to real life situations. There are 24 members in a community block association. Only 18 of them came to their winter meeting. What percent of the members attended the meeting? What's the part? What's the whole? The question is asking 18 is what percent of 24? Step 1, write a fraction. So 18 goes on top, 24 goes on the bottom. Divide the numerator by the denominator. 18 divided by 24 equals, the answer will be 0.75. And we have to change 0.75 into a percent. 0.75, move the decimal 2 places to the right, equals 75%. So 75% of the members attended the meeting. Okay, same question. What percent of the members did not attend the meeting? Well, how many attended? 18. How many were there? 24. How many are left? 24 minus 18. 6, right? So 6 members didn't come. So the question is asking 6 is what percent of 24? Write the fraction. 6 on top, 24 on the bottom. Divide 6. Oh, that should say 6, not 18. Oops, forgot to change it. Let me just change it right now here. 6, there. 6 divided by, hopefully it says 24. There we go. Equals, hopefully it'll give me the right answer. 0.25. Yes, it did give me the right answer. It just didn't change the 18 to a 6. Okay, then we change 0.25 into a percent. Move the decimal 2 to the right. And then put the percent sign there. So 25% of the members did not attend the meeting. And notice how 75% of the students, the people did attend. So 75% attended and 25% did not. If you add 75 and 25, what number do you get? Yes, you get 100%. That accounts for everybody, right? So that makes sense. You should always get to 100%. So 75 went and 25 did not. Percent, not numbers. Okay. Floria wants to buy a dress that costs $96. She has saved $60 for the dress. What percent of the price of the dress has she saved? Set it up, part over whole. The question's asking 60 is what percent of 96? Step 1, we're going to write the fraction. 60 on top, 96 on the bottom. Divide the numerator by the denominator. 60 divided by 96 equals 0.625. Change 0.625 by moving the decimal 2 places to the right. 1, 2, there it is. Put the percent sign. Floria has saved 62.5% of the price for the dress. Jason took out a loan from his mom for new basketball shoes in the amount of $150. Just wanted to clarify that this kind of looks like Jason, don't you think? I found that picture. I was like, that's kind of like Jason. So anyways, I used it. Hope Jason doesn't mind. Jason's mom made him pay her interest of $30. Interest was what percent of Jason's loan? How do you do this? Well, the question is asking 30 is what percent of 150? Put the part on top, 30, put the hole on the bottom, divide 30 divided by 150 equals 0.2. Change 0.2 to a percent. How do we do that? 2 to the right. There's your decimal. 1 spot, 2 spots. Uh-oh. We don't have a number there. What do we do? Yeah, we put a 0. Of course. So it's 20%, right? So Jason had to pay his mom 20% interest. Okay, you get to try some of these application problems. See you back in a few minutes. Okay, welcome back. Let's focus on some higher order thinking. In chemistry class, Johan recorded the volume of a liquid as 13.2 milliliters. Does that look like Johan there on the right there? A little bit. The actual volume was 13.7 milliliters. Use the formula to find the percent error of Johan's measurement to the nearest tenth of a percent. Okay, percent error is equal to this formula. Experimental value, what value he got when he did the experiment, minus the actual value, and that's in the problem, divided by the actual value. So experimental value, what he got, minus the actual volume here, divided by the actual volume again. Okay, that's the numbers. So let's do that. Times 100. Why are we timesing by 100? Because we're talking about percent. So percent error is equal to 13.2 from the problem minus 13.7 from the problem divided by 13.7 times 100. Use your good old calculator and you would get 3.6%. How do you use a calculator, by the way, to do this? Well, you would type in 13.2 minus 13.7 and hit equals. You'd write down that number on a piece of paper. Then you would put that number in again and divide by 13.7 and hit equals, get an answer, and then times by 100, and then you would get 3.6%. Okay? Johan had a 3.6% error in his measurement. That's scientists always do this, where they figure out the percent of error of their experiments. Okay, I love my meme there. It says when your phone is on at 1%, now you know what 1% means. 1% means that is the amount of battery power you have left. Not very much, is it? So she's really running to get that plugged in right away. Okay, so have a good day. I'll see you next time. Bye.